The guest brought in a treasured childhood possession, a small silver pot they found on the street with their dad. They fondly called it a genie's lamp due to its unique design and a personal connection to a wish made in their youth. The object is a demitasse pot, a small pot specifically designed for serving coffee rather than tea. It was part of a set once upon a time, and the letter G engraved on it likely belonged to the original owner's family. Examining the markings on the bottom, the pot's history is revealed. Made by Wilcox and Wagoner, a New York company known for creating silver objects, the pot was crafted sometime between 1900 and 1929. Despite some minor details, such as the ivory heat stops, which cannot be legally sold due to regulations, the demitasse pot's value is estimated to be
in a range of like $250 to $350 for auction.
Wow!
The guest brought in a trophy belonging to their grandfather, Howdy Wilcox, a race car driver who achieved a world record in 1911. The trophy commemorated his victory at a beach race near Jacksonville, Florida, where he drove a stock automobile over 89 miles per hour for a mile. This achievement took place during a period of rapid innovation and experimentation in early car racing. Back then, races were held on various courses, including tracks, public roads, and beaches. The trophy itself, awarded to Wilcox on March 30, 1911, marked his record-breaking speed of 40.32 seconds, translating to a remarkable 89 miles per hour. While that speed may seem commonplace today, it was a groundbreaking achievement in 1911. It also held particular significance because Wilcox had managed to surpass the record held by Barney Oldfield, a household name in American racing at that time. This victory undoubtedly made Howdy Wilcox an instant hero in the racing world. The trophy, made by the Homan Manufacturing Company from Cincinnati, is a beautiful piece of silver plate. The guest had it replated a few years ago to preserve its shine, but this process did not negatively impact the trophy's value. The overall value of the trophy is estimated at
I would place an insurance value of $15,000.
Very interesting. Thank you.
Showcased on the show is a whimsical doll dating back to around 1910. The guest inherited this item from her father in the early 1970s.
Tommy has been in my possession since the 70s. He was in pieces in a shoebox when I received him.
This particular doll was made by Kammer and Reinhardt, known for their character dolls. Interestingly, the doll still retains its original wig, clothes, and shoes. It is also marked 114 on the back of its neck.
Their first doll they made in that series was 100. And 100 was a baby with kind of a scowling face.
Adding to its charm, the doll features a pair of rare sleeping glass eyes. Finding a doll this old in such pristine condition is rare. Therefore, at auction, this playful piece is expected to fetch a value of
probably retail for $6,200 to $6,500.
My goodness, Tom.
Carl R. Kraft's great-grandson is on the show with one of his early paintings inherited from his mother. This painting was named Autumn Reds because of the fall scene of it and the brilliant colors that depicts emotion. Carl was born in the mid-1880s in the Chicago area and was identified with Oak Park, where his original studio is. He was known as a Midwestern impressionistic early 20th century landscape painter. In the early 1910s, he set up the Ozark Society of Artists, which was a large association of artists in Missouri. Carl was prominent and successful, and sold many paintings during the Depression. The date on this picture is 1936, as seen on the back, and the painting is oil on canvas. At some point during Carl's career, his work was plagiarized, hence he started using thumbprints to authenticate his work. But this painting, which is one of his early works, did not bear his thumbprint to the dismay of the host. However, in an appropriate auction in the Midwest, an estimate on this picture would be around
I think an estimate on this picture would probably be between $2,500 and $3,500.
Well, that's excellent.
And I wouldn't be surprised if it made more because it's so lovely.
Right here is an exquisite diamond and pearl necklace. The necklace features an array of dazzling elements.
And when did you wear it?
I've worn it for my wedding, and other than that, it lives in the safe deposit box.
You've only worn it once?
Yeah.
Its diamonds are authentic and of high quality, with the centerpiece being a stunning 5-carat diamond surrounded by platinum filigree and smaller diamonds. The top section boasts a 2-carat diamond, adding to the overall brilliance and value of the piece. This necklace also includes small, natural oriental pearls, accentuating its delicate beauty.
The metal is platinum.
Oh, really?
The inside of the box has embossing in the center of it, and the company name is Phelps and Perry of Maiden Lane in New York.
The necklace's design is quintessentially Edwardian, a style characterized by intricate metalwork and the emphasis on light, airy designs. For its intrinsic beauty and high-quality diamonds, this piece would auction for...
And the quality of it, at retail, this piece should bring $250,000. And that's a conservative estimate because of the volatility of the diamond market.
Oh boy. Thank you very much.
The guest brought a bracelet that belonged to her grandmother. The bracelet was likely purchased by her grandfather at a Cartier store in Birmingham, Michigan. The bracelet was around 50 years old and no longer in production. It was a classic design and easy to wear. The guest treasures the bracelet because it reminds her of her grandmother. It was identified as a Cartier piece due to its iconic red box and the tricolor gold design. The bracelet featured rose gold, white gold, and yellow gold, and was stamped with the Cartier logo and 750 for 18-karat gold. This cherished bracelet, carrying a sentimental value, was appraised at...
I would say a conservative auction estimate would be between $3,000 and $5,000.
Hey, that's wonderful.
The guest brought in 3 wood carvings by her great-uncle Sam from 100 years ago. He was one of the bachelor farmers in North Dakota. These are charming carvings that require great expertise. In terms of the folk art spectrum, these pieces are wonderful. And there's also a carving of his homestead. These pieces are valued differently, and because they are family pieces, an insurance value is better to put on them. But if they are lost, a retail value should be placed. Therefore, the homestead carving would be $400 to $500, while the smaller one would sell at $200 to $300. The 2 major carvings would easily sell at retail for...
And I feel that these would quite easily achieve in the area of $2,000 each.
Yeah.
Guest inherited this exquisite ruby and diamond ring from her beloved aunt. David Webb designed it, crafting a mesmerizing combination of beautiful rubies, dazzling diamonds, and exquisite gold and platinum. At its core, just as a ring, it's valued from $3,000 to $5,000. The blend of gold and platinum sets it apart, lending it an unparalleled allure.
If we look at it in a different context and we say with all of those elements, and there's a designer name attached.
However, when we factor in its designer pedigree and the era it originates from, the estimate soars to $5,000 to $7,000. The surprising presence of Burmese rubies further increases the value. Burmese rubies are those that are unheated and found in a David Webb ring from the late 50s and 1960s.
This type of an item at auction would have an estimate of $8,000 to $12,000.
Really?
Yes.
Got this celestial object from her mother, who is a medium and is on the show. It is the figure of Guanyin, one of the immortals, a representative of compassion and mercy. Guanyin is usually accompanied by an acolyte, the figure of the boy surrounded by a mystical scarf. Looking at the figure, is dressed in long robes, wearing beads around the neck, and her hand is raised in mudra. On her other hand is a ruyi scepter, which means, may your wishes come true. And surrounding her is a splash of water, which connotates turbulence. The carving and material is white marble that dates back to the late Qing dynasty, the 19th century. There are certain areas of brown discoloration on the body due to frequent touch by people because it is a devotional figure. However, the stand made from lovely Asian hardwood was done later. Since the guest decided to keep it, a realistic insurance value would be
$10,000 range.
That's
amazing.
A guest brought in a 1919 World Championship baseball for appraisal. The baseballs were given to him around 38 years ago when he was about 13 years old by a friend of his mother's before the friend moved back to Texas. The appraiser noted that the 1919 Cincinnati Reds were an underappreciated but excellent team, winning 96 games and the World Series against the Chicago White Sox, who were favored to win. The White Sox's loss was later marred by the scandal of them possibly throwing the game, overshadowing the Reds' victory. The appraiser examined the baseball, which was signed by 26 members of the team, including manager Pat Moran and owner August Herman. Notable signatures included Hall of Famer Ed Rausch and Jake Dalbert, a significant era player whose signature is rare. The appraiser highlighted the championship team's signed balls, especially those from earlier periods, are highly collectible and rare. The appraiser informed the guest that fewer than 5 such baseballs from the 1919 Cincinnati Reds are known to exist, estimating its auction value between...
I would put an auction estimate of between $45,000 and $50,000.
Phew. That's a little more than I thought.
Yeah.
The guest scored an amazing find at a yard sale. She purchased 4 pieces of hand-blown glass for a mere 50 cents each. The glasses are Steuben, a well-respected American glassmaker dating them to the Frederick Carter era, circa 1910. A closer inspection revealed an acid-stamped signature, a mark of authenticity for Steuben pieces. The unique characteristics of these glasses was their verre de soie quality, meaning glass of silk, due to its smooth, textured finish resembling silk fabric. The Art Nouveau engravings further enhanced the beauty and value of the pieces. Considering all these factors, the estimated retail value of each glass is to be...
These would probably sell for $200 a piece.
Ooh, that's great.
His father accepted the challenging job of building Spiral Jetty, preserving its history. Some of the initial sketches resembled a large J with an island in the middle. Robert Smithson's Spiral Jetty, completed in 1970, stands as an iconic example of land art. This 1,500-foot earthwork on Utah's Great Salt Lake forms a counterclockwise coil. This is a more general piece and the second version of the Spiral Jetty. This piece incorporates more of the surrounding landscape. It also includes some red pencil markings. Heavy machinery shaped a spiraling form, embodying Smithson's art-nature concept of entropy. The Spiral Jetty invites reflection on humanity's connection to geological time and art's transience in nature. Marveling at its historical depth and artistic ingenuity, the appraiser valued the item.
The collection altogether is $47,500.
Simplicity is boring and an excuse for a bad design, but this piece is the exact opposite. Purchased by this guest in Naples, Italy, this piece is an endowment to the finger.
So I have had that ring since 1968. I had it sized down.
A unique combination of diamond with an elegance of platinum and the richness of gold, this piece presents a breathtaking sight. Based on its design elements, the rolls along the shoulders of this ring stylistically date to the 1940s. The durability of platinum guarantees this ring will stand the test of time, holding the precious diamond securely in place. In addition, the gold accents add warmth and richness that create a stunning contrast. Together, these elements form a ring that is not just a piece of jewelry, but a work of art, a symbol of elegance and a luxury that would auction for.
So if I told you that at auction, a retro diamond ring such as this, an auction estimate of $3,000 to $4,000.
Oh, very good.
Would you be surprised?
Surprising, yeah. Very surprised.
Her father, a security salesman in Portland, Oregon, received this piece as a gift from a grateful client. It was made by Capellan Venini, a company based in Murano. First designed by Vittorio Zecchin in 1921, he also served as the first director of the firm of Capellan Venini. Murano, an island in Venice, has a rich glass-making history and is the source of all Venetian glass. This piece is of a Veronese vase. Vases from this era feature clean lines and minimalist aesthetics, sometimes with organic shapes. The signature reads Venini Murano, spanning 2 lines. Incalmo, murini, and filigrana were commonly used in crafting these pieces. A treasure beyond measure, the appraiser valued the item.
So in terms of value, I would put a retail value on this piece of $3,000 to $4,000.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, super.
Lucky guest scored an amazing deal at a flea market. He found a captivating pair of paintings by Italian artist Glicenti for just $100. They are diptychs, two paintings meant to be displayed together and depicting a charming narrative. One side features a gentleman knocking on a door, while the other portrays a coy woman listening from the inside. These paintings exemplify the Second Empire fancy work style, popular in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Known for its flirtatious and high society themes, you can identify the rich detail in the paintings, particularly in the male figure. While the female figure shows some signs of wear, the paintings themselves are oil on canvas and considered stable. They are a perfect thematic fit for the Rosecliff mansion where the appraisal is taking place, complementing the ornate moldings around the doors. The estimated value of these paintings is...
Auction, I would estimate them at between $2,000 and $3,000.
And a recommended insurance value of...
$5,000.
I wonder, that's great.
This charming wooden box, acquired by the owner as a Christmas gift from their grandfather, has a fascinating history. The owner's grandfather purchased the box for over $1,000 from a local shop after the owner had...
She had this box, but she really didn't want to sell it, and I kept begging her, and finally I just gave up.
This box is believed to be of Mesoamerican origin, despite the owner's preference for local North Carolina pieces. It is attributed to Jacob Weber, a renowned folk artist from Lancaster County, Pennsylvania.
What did your grandfather pay for it?
Well, he just said he paid $1,000 for it.
Wow, $1,000. I mean, that was a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
Weber's work typically features a green ground with a house flanked by trees, adorned with tulip decorations on each. This particular box, estimated to have been made between 1830 and 1840, is missing its original hinges, which were likely replaced over time. While the exact selling price of Weber's boxes is unknown, similar pieces have been valued at...
I think a good auction estimate for this box would be somewhere between $10,000 and $15,000.
Wow.
The guest brought in a rug purchased in 1967 by her mother. It is a silk rug, and it is a good thing that it was hung on the wall and not used on the floor. The guest thought it was a Tabriz, but it was Hariz. Both are close cities in northwest Persia because they have similar styles. This finely woven rug has over 500 knots per square inch, and one thing that differentiates a Tabriz from a Hariz is that the weave is single wefted instead of double wefted. Another interesting thing about this rug is that it was woven in the 19th century when synthetic dyes were introduced. Therefore, the ground color and other colors were deeper, and it has an indigo color that makes the rug look lighter. The silk harizes are amazing in that they were made freehand, with the design turning from a reconciled corner to an unreconciled corner. Also, the flowers fit naturally into the design, which is special to the Northwest Persian region. This silk rug that was purchased for $2,500 would now be worth...
I would say that in today's market, this would have a value of $20,000.
She'd be pleased.
She'd be very pleased.
She would really be pleased.
The guest brought in a deed that was signed by General Custer and his wife Elizabeth from Monroe, Michigan. This document is a real estate deed recording the sale of a property. There is a beautiful love story behind this document, which relates to the determination of General Custer to prove his love for Elizabeth in 1862. This document was executed in 1870 when Custer and Elizabeth sold 4 plots of land, which was Elizabeth's inheritance from her father. They sold the property for $300 due to the financial stress that resulted from Custer being court-martialed and suspended at the time. An interesting fact about this document is that it was co-signed by George Custer and Elizabeth, which is uncommon. Among the pantheon of Custer's documents, the military ones are the most valuable. But this document supersedes them all because of its 2 signatures. This document, which was bought for $1,500 15 years ago, would be estimated at an auction for...
At auction,
conservatively, I would estimate this document at $3,000 to $5,000.
I love the way he signed it with his flamboyant signature.
That guy was a character.
A guest brought in a collection of jewelry that had been her mother's, which she had owned for about 15 years without wearing. The appraiser identified the jewelry as Eisenberg Ice, noting that the company was established in Chicago by 1920 and initially made clothing with rhinestone and metal embellishments. Due to the popularity of these embellishments, people began stealing them, leading the company to produce jewelry. The first pieces, marked Eisenberg Original, were bold and from the 1930s. Eisenberg's jewelry was known for its high quality, using the best Swarovski crystals. The guest pieces, dating from about 1945 to 1955, featured colored rhinestones set in white metal, including earrings, a brooch, a bracelet, and a necklace. These pieces were sold in high-end department stores like Marshall Field's and were well known and expensive for costume jewelry at the time. The appraiser explained that colored stones are more sought after by collectors today due to the abundance of clear stones. The guest's collection, referred to as a parure, a French term for a set of more than 2 matching pieces. Much to the guest's surprise, the appraiser valued the pieces between
on today's marketplace, good retail location, all these pieces would sell between $1,500 and $1,800.
Oh my goodness, I had no idea.
The guest brought in a movie poster they had collected years ago, drawn to it for its portrayal of an African-American cast. Despite not knowing the movie or actors, the guest recognized the historical significance and held on to the poster for over 25 years. The poster belongs to a 1940s race film titled Am I Guilty? These films, produced specifically for African-American audiences between 1915 and 1950, typically had limited budgets reflected in the poster's design. This particular poster was printed in only 2 colors, unlike the more elaborate, full-color posters of mainstream movies. While the artistic merit of the poster itself was modest, its value stemmed from its connection to a specific era in filmmaking and its representation of a historically underserved audience. There has been a surge in collectability for items related to these films, increasing the poster's estimated value at auction to be
this would be a $400 to $600 poster.
Okay. I had no idea.
The guest received the item from an acquaintance over 20 years ago and had since kept it on a shelf in a corner. The appraiser identified the piece as Chinese Yixing ware, a type of earthenware known for its beautiful dark red or light brown color and suitability for making tea. The teapot had several marks, a small mark inside the cover, a maker's mark on the underside attributed to Yangzhou Ming, and a mark under the handle.
Dark red color, it can be a light brown, but it's perfect for making tea. And so this was an individual's teapot.
The appraiser dated the teapot to the 1830s or 1840s, but noted some damage on the top that affected its value. Despite the damage, the teapot was deemed collectible and valued at,
I think at auction, this might bring between $500 to $700.
Oh, marvelous.
This is a rare Clifford Still painting gifted to the owner by a former art professor. The painting depicts the Grand Coulee Dam under construction dating back to 1937 when the artist was still in his figurative phase. Flipping it to the back, the painting has a writing which says, "To my friends, the Whiffins," with his name and date, 1941. While the painting's rudimentary stretchers raise a slight concern, its significance lies in the connection to the abstract expressionist movement. Clifford Still is considered a pioneer of this movement, and this particular work predates his shift to complete abstraction. The subject of the painting is Grand Coulee, during the time when they were building the dam, which is a big dam in the state of Washington. A similar painting by Still from a later period recently sold for a staggering. Acknowledging the painting's importance, it has an insurance value of,
I believe that this shouldn't be insured for anything less than $500,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Guest brought in a beautiful plaque that has been in her family since the 1800s with a photograph to corroborate her story. This plaque is a Royal Vienna-style porcelain plaque made by a company called Royal Vienna that went out of business in the late 19th century. However, some factories also made porcelain using the same style as the Royal Vienna. At the back is a mark that is an underglaze blue shield, pi, and a European 7, which depicts it was made by an unknown artist. The value is based on the style and quality of its decorations. This plaque was hand-painted showing a European scene with horses, dogs, and men. It was done by someone who worked in a decorating factory in Austria, but the quality is not that great. One really good thing about it is the frame, which is American, especially with the sprays of pearl around the corners dated to the 19th century. At an auction, the frame alone would sell for $1,000 to $1,500, but the combined package would be worth,
I guess at auction would sell for between $6,000 and $8,000.
The guest presented a truly unique item, a pair of whale eardrums. These natural wonders were acquired by the guest's father-in-law, a physician who worked for a whaling company in the 1930s. They are really a rare find, called a Roadshow first due to the unusual nature of the item. Whale eardrums, fascinating products of evolution, were unfortunately considered souvenirs by sailors during the whaling era of the 20s and 30s. In this case, the eardrums were even mounted on a whalebone for display. Despite their unique nature, the commercial value of whale eardrums is modest. Due to regulations on whale products, they cannot be legally sold in many places. However, he estimated the retail price of each eardrum to be,
It would sell retail for about $300 a piece.
Thank you so much.
a guest brought in a sarong autographed by Dorothy Lamour, which was a memento from the time his grandfather served in the Coast Artillery. The sarong was signed for his grandfather's battery, with photos showing Dorothy Lamour signing the sarong and another of them walking together. These pictures were taken at Fort Kamehameha, near Pearl Harbor in Hawaii, probably just before the U.S. entered World War II, and guest's grandfather was stationed there from around 1938. It remained unclear how the grandfather obtained the sarong, though it might be due to his position as a master sergeant, the highest-ranking enlisted personnel in the battery. The appraiser noted Dorothy Lamour's status as a preeminent sex symbol before Marilyn Monroe, gaining fame in 1936 for her role in The Jungle Princess, where she famously wore a sarong. The appraiser emphasized the importance of provenance, praising the accompanying photographs of Lamour signing the sarong and with the guest's grandfather, and estimated the sarong's auction value to be between
You can't get anything better than pictures of Dorothy actually signing the sarong. Wonderful photograph of your relative with her. I think it has a value at auction of between $2,500 and $3,000.
Wow.
Here we have a Tiffany desk set in the 1920s, featuring a gilt finish known as doré and intricate cold-painted decorations. It includes blotter ends, a date pad, a cigarette box lined with cedar, bookends, and a rare clock with its original key. Known as bookmark, this pattern features emblems of early printers and publishers. Guest's great-uncle Jet received the desk set from Imogene in 1924. The guest inherited it from his mother. This fascinating desk set is particularly notable for its excellent condition. Especially its preserved original paint is relatively fragile and often wears away over time. The rarity and preservation of this amazing set make it extraordinary. In a retail setting, this Tiffany desk set, with great preservation, would be valued at around
This set in a retail setting would bring about $9,500.
Purchased in 1976 in New York, its simplicity stood out among the artist's abstract works. Affordable, too. Arthur G. Dove's Train is a notable work from this oeuvre. Alfred Stieglitz, a notable 20th century American gallerist, notably championed Arthur Dove among many modernists. These major American galleries essentially shape American modernism's history. Dove, an American modernist, simplified forms and used vibrant colors to capture subjects innovatively. In Train, Dove captures locomotive speed and power with bold brushstrokes and vivid colors. The composition hints at the train's elements with abstracted forms. Admiring the vibrant strokes and dynamic energy, the appraiser valued the item.
We'd expect it to sell for about $40,000 at auction.
Good.
This exquisite art glass shade was acquired by the owner's husband at a state auction 15 years ago. The owner was initially upset about the purchase as the shade was displayed atop a china cabinet. This shade is likely made around 1915, is believed to be the work of Frederick Carter of Duvet Glass, a renowned English artisan who competed with Tiffany in the art glass industry. Despite its similarities to Tiffany glass, such as shape and vine decorations, the color,
though, is kind of the giveaway that it's not Tiffany.
This shade features opal lining and iridescence, highly desirable among collectors, adding to its allure. Previous appraisals have provided conflicting opinions, with one appraiser dismissing it as nothing, while another suggested it might be lumber from California. Despite its challenging attribution, similar shades have fetched at a price of...
In an auction, you would expect to see an estimate of about $6,000 to $8,000. It could bring more than that.
A field trip episode usually offers us many interesting artifacts to talk about, and a trip to the Saarinen House in Michigan provides us with a view of a particular Art Deco masterwork. Elio Saarinen was a Finnish-American architect known for his work with Art Nouveau buildings in the early years of the 20th century.
He joins the faculty and he becomes head of the Cranbrook Academy in 1932.
And this is where he raised his family.
That's right, he lived in this house.
In this majestic house, filled with Art Deco works, we are presented with a coffee urn, a coffee pot on a stand with a matching tray. The simplicity of its form really makes it stand out as an Art Deco piece.
Well, we have a coffee urn here, which is a beautiful design, and this is one of Elio Saarinen's designs, correct?
That's right.
The item also features a stylized bird as a motif, which is also seen throughout the Saarinen House. Made by the Wilcox Company, this item's date of creation can be dated to circa 1933, a rare item with designs too advanced for contemporary American taste. This truly is an Art Deco masterpiece and would be auctioned at...
That sold a couple of years ago for $67,000 at auction. I think it would be easily a multiple of that amount.
Thanks so much, Eric.
Thank you.
The refined beauty of the Victorian gold adornments is evident in this piece. Belonging to the guest's late husband, she inherited the piece from her husband's family after his demise. Weighing 14 carats, this vest chain has an American origin.
The chain is 14-karat gold.
That's good.
Because we know gold is one of the highest prices that it's been in years, and we expect it to keep going up.
Featured on the chain is a fob with a locket containing a shimmering crystal. This chain also boasts fancy gold links. During the Victorian era, gold vest chains were symbols of wealth and social standing.
And that's what they showed off. And this kind of locket, generally, if they could find one, they put a 4-leaf clover in it and pressed it flat between the glass, and it would magnify in that dome. The rest of this is a vest chain.
As a highly intriguing piece of Victorian jewelry, this piece is estimated to be worth...
Retail value, it's between $4,000 and $5,000 for this necklace.
Are you serious?
An exploration of the Saarinen House awaits in this episode. Located in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, the Saarinen House is an Art Deco marvel by Elio Saarinen. Saarinen was a renowned architect celebrated for his early 20th century Art Nouveau buildings. Inside the Saarinen House, we encounter bronze peacock sculptures. These pieces were specifically designed to complement the fireplace. Words like abstract, intricate, and streamlined aptly describe these peacock sculptures. Crafted in the late 1920s, these peacocks have also been displayed in a museum.
They were made in the late 20s and exhibited an exhibition at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in 1929.
Their rarity is notable as none have ever been auctioned, leaving us to speculate on their current market value. This is a blinking eye clock, a collectible piece since the early 20th century. A retirement gift from the store owner, the clock was passed from the guest's uncle to her, who admired it since childhood. Waterbury made this clock with a case from Bradley & Hubbard Manufacturing. Is in remarkable condition, a rarity among similar clocks often repainted over the years. Its rarity and remarkable preservation make it a cherished heirloom with sentimental and monetary value. Its patented late 1850s design, known as the Continental model, boasts a distinctive profile. Functioning well and displaying the Bradley and Hubbard logo, it's considered one of the most desirable forms of such clocks. Considering it a treasure, impressed by its condition and functionality, its value lies between
$4,000 and $4,500. So it's a treasure.
Thank you very much.
All right, and are you ready?
Inherited from the current owner's father, who died in 1990, originally came from the owner's grandfather in the late 1970s. Made by Samuel Mulliken, part of a famous clockmaking family from Concord. This clock is in excellent condition despite minor issues such as missing brass decorations and replaced glass. It is a wonderful piece. There are 2 holes where little brass decorations used to be, a small patch, and the glass has been replaced, but these don't really affect its value. The clock has a mahogany case and original OG bracket feet. It has a beautiful scalloped apron that goes around the front and sides. The dial is signed by Samuel Mulliken, which is nice because it shows who made it. The dial is made of sheet brass and has a time and strike movement, so there are 2 winding arbors, one for the time and one for the striking. Overall, it's a fantastic piece. While examining the condition of the item, the appraiser said,
I would say a clock like this should be insured for around $75,000.
Seriously?
Seriously, it's that good. When it came out of the bag, I couldn't believe it.
We are presented with a Kilns tray and base, a beautiful work of art to behold. Our guest inherited the items from her stepfather after he passed away. These pieces bear the maker's mark, the Durant Kilns Company, and are both dated 1914. The name of the maker of these items is Leon Volkmar. Volkmar was an American studio ceramist.
His father was also a potter. His name was Charles Volkmar.
Peculiar to the works of Leon, the tray boasts Persian blue glazes. Interestingly, the tray is displayed alongside its original base. The base was crafted from earthenware, and it is also signed. It's very rare to find a ceramic tray like this with its base still intact, which places its value at auction to be...
As an auction estimate, I would easily put $1,000 to $2,000 on it. Oh my goodness.
Bought in the late 1950s for a small price from a friend who needed money, this armor fascinated its owner with its history. It sparked fun childhood memories of pretending to be a samurai. Experts say small armor protects warriors without slowing them down. It's made of tough materials to stop sharp swords. The armor has cool designs like dragons and clouds, showing influences from China and Japan. When you pick it up, you can see the metal scales overlap, they're coated with lacquer to make them shiny, and they're really light. Look here, there's a picture of a dragon with clouds and a pearl on silk. This silk is on almost every part of the armor. What's interesting is that it's not from Japan, it's from China, and it's really old and special silk from the 18th century. Whoever made this armor must have thought it was valuable and hard to find. Even though some parts are missing, it's still special. While examining the condition of the item, the appraiser said,
I would expect this suit of armor to make somewhere between $5,000 and $8,000 today.
Oh, wow. Okay, great.
The guest revealed that the map belonged to his great-great-grandfather, a physician in Deming, New Mexico, where they believe he acquired it. The appraiser explained the map's significance, starting with its title, Amérique Septentrionale, created by the renowned geographer Nicholas Sanson and dated 1650. This date was confirmed as accurate. The appraiser emphasized that a map's value is often determined by its historical significance, particularly if it shows something new. This map was notable for being the first printed map to depict all 5 Great Lakes in North America, including the first naming of Lake Superior, based on information from Jesuit missionaries and explorers. The map also included a significant geographical error, depicting California as an island. It was valuable for its detailed information on New England, the St. Lawrence Seaway, the Great Lakes, and the Southwest, despite lacking a single depiction of the Mississippi River. The appraiser noted that they had a similar map in their shop in Philadelphia, priced at $6,500, highlighting its value and historical importance.
We have a price of $6,500 on it.
Wow.
So,
That's fantastic.
About 2 years ago, the couple purchased it from a picker. Sugar chests were prevalent in 19th century southern U.S. homes where sugar was scarce and valuable. These chests were designed to securely store sugar, protecting it from pests and moisture. This sugar chest, common in Kentucky and Tennessee, is mainly cherry wood with an unusual butternut base. Inside, there is a divider for organizing various types of sugar and similar items. Inside, a couple of long, dark drips in the back corner indicate that the piece has been refinished. The pegs on the piece, slightly square, attest to its enduring integrity, never having been removed. This 19th century technique showcased makers' skills in embellishing wooden objects, highlighting craftsmanship. Intricately crafted, the appraiser valued the item.
I think you could expect $15,000 or $20,000 at auction.
This painting belonged to the guest's grandmother, and she inherited it after her demise. At the back of the painting is written the name of the artist, the name of the painting, and the original cost paid for it. The name of the artist is Jessie Wilcox Smith, one of the greatest American illustrators. She was born in 1863, studied with Howard Pyle, who was one of the master illustrators in Brandywine School of Philadelphia. Jessie Wilcox never married, but she used children as subjects in almost all her paintings. This painting was made in 1890, and she used dynamic diagonals with pencil point brushstrokes to input energy into it. It is a tranquil picture where she used oil and also outlined with charcoal to paint upon. She was a prolific art illustrator linked with other women artists such as Violet Oakley and Elizabeth Shippen Green, and they were called the Red Rose Girls. Also, the frame is a Whistler-style frame, which is a good collection. In a New York gallery, the retail price for this painting would be...
Retail price would be in the $125,000 range.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Wow.
Witness the captivating charm of the ensemble pin presented by this guest, who acquired it from his mother. The item is called Trembler, and we can see how it trembles when nudged. Dating back to the late 1930s to early 1940s, the piece depicts a female figure with two dog figures near her legs. The pin is adorned with rhinestones from top to bottom. It was designed to be worn as a brooch or hair ornament. Serving as a testament to the ingenuity of the era it was made in, this pin is estimated to be worth...
He's worth about $300 to $400.
Oh my. Oh,
yes.
That is surprising.
Doll, dressed in polka-dotted attire, is what is presented today before us. This doll was acquired by the guest because of her attraction to its hair and face.
Did you think it was old? Did you have an idea that it might be?
Well, I took the lady for her word that she had it forever, she bought it original, and I just said, well, I like the doll.
The doll's face is well painted, and it has an open mouth, which may reduce its value, as dolls with closed mouths are usually more valued by collectors. Porcelain was used in the creation of the doll, and it is ascertained that the wig, polka-dotted dress, and shoes of the doll are still quite new.
This feels very new to me. Okay. And if you take a look at the wig and the dress, it also looks very new.
At the back of the doll are markings which tell the doll's date of craftsmanship.
Some markings here. It does say Shirley Temple, but it also gives a little clue here. It says Repro.
This doll is still relatively new, as can be seen from its accessories and the date of its craftsmanship. And as such, its fair market value would be...
Fair market value I would probably put much lower at about $5 to $20, something like that. The retail is whatever she wants to charge for it.
A remarkable pair of 19th century prints is featured today. These prints, showcasing a groundbreaking method of color reproduction, were created by a pioneering printing entrepreneur born in 1804 called George Baxter. Baxter's technique combined standard printing plates with wood blocks using oils or printer's ink to achieve stunningly textured prints.
Not only did it have incredible color accuracy.
Here, we see two finely textured prints that look almost like paintings. Baxter often identified his works with cartouches, as seen here with patent applied for 1835, embossed on the prints. These pieces depict idealized young Victorian ladies, known as court beauties, from around 1840. Though the frames are not original, the quality of the prints makes them highly valuable. If sold at a high-end gallery, this pair of high-quality prints would fetch.
They would probably sell for around $7,000 to $7,500 for the pair.
Oh, wonderful.
This lamp, a cherished heirloom inherited from a dear friend, boasts a captivating Native American motif on its bronze base. A flickering bulb at the bottom resembles a campfire. Signed by Korff, a German artist from the late 19th to early 20th century known for such lamp bases, the base complements the hand-painted shade. Created by Moser Bridges Company in the early 20th century and depicts a tranquil wooden pond scene.
Now, there is some record of this company being in Milwaukee and San Francisco, but there's very little known about Moser Bridges.
While aesthetically pleasing together, the appraiser believes the lamp and shade weren't originally a pair. Likely a charming married lamp due to the age difference. The older base is more valuable than the shade, reversing the typical focus in lamp valuation. In a retail setting, this unique married lamp is estimated to be worth around.
As a married piece, I would think in a retail setting it would be worth $6,500.
This historic silver set has been handed down from the first to the fifth generation of the guest. It is known as a libation set from the Civil War era, having a pitcher, 2 goblets, and an oval tray. The set is inscribed to Governor Hicks of the state of Maryland and was a gift from the 3rd Maryland Regiment. On it is the date December 24, 1861, and marked the Gorham Silver Company. It was made out of old silver coins melted down and reformed into this set. So, the pitcher, goblets, and oval tray all bear the same inscription indicating it's an original set. The set holds historical importance because Maryland was one of the states that were indecisive in joining the Confederacy and staying in the Union, and the president had to keep troops in Baltimore to ensure peace. At an auction, this 4-piece historical silver set would be valued conservatively around
$12,000 to $15,000.
Wow.
Don't look away, music lovers, because this is the cream of the crop. This is a collection of Beatles Apple Records. This would be a huge collection for any Beatles lover, and it is quite a job well done.
And it's very focused. A lot of times people get lost. They know they love the Beatles, but they're not really sure what to collect. While you and I were talking about it before, you mentioned to me that you even paid a lot of money for some of the sleeves.
Yeah.
The special thing about this collection is that the majority of them are in unplayed condition.
These two are really interesting because it's an example of a black and white and a color. Totally different, but very, very collectible, in great condition, and really desirable.
Another interesting thing is that as opposed to collecting antiques for the money, one can easily tell that this collection was collected as a form of passion. The collection is in top-notch condition. If it were to auction today, this collection could easily retail at the price of...
I would estimate the entire collection at $5,000 to $7,000.
See, that's wonderful. I'm so happy.
The guest's father, a retired doctor, had purchased a watch at a pawn shop on 3rd Avenue about 30 years ago. The watch was an aviator watch designed for Charles Lindbergh and Longines. Its large size was due to the cold temperatures in unpressurized planes, making it easy to read in dim light. The watch was worn on the outside of a jacket and had a large size. This version was the most valuable and rare, made specifically for flight, and was produced from the mid-1930s to the early 1940s. The guest's father had paid $100 for the watch 30 years ago. Due to the watch's historical significance, beauty, and rarity, the appraiser estimated the watch's current retail value at...
A watch like this on the retail market today probably would run around $12,000.
Thank you. My father's going to be pleased.
The guest brought in 2 1885 Civil War reunion posters he purchased at an antique mall in Minneapolis. The posters were printed by the Steuben Lithography Company, considered the best American lithography company that ever worked. In fact, in 1885, it was very early for high-quality, detailed American lithographs like these. Also, it was really early for Civil War reunions to happen and very unusual for the North and South to come together at the same time. These incredibly rare posters were purchased for $150 each and mounted on linen by the guest. A fair auction estimate for these Civil War lithographic posters would be,
I feel that at auction, each of these would fetch between $3,000 and $4,000 a piece.
Oh, thank you. That's actually a surprise. Yeah.
The guest brought in a family heirloom, a rifle passed down through 6 generations. He traced the lineage back to his great-great-great-grandfather, who likely purchased the firearm new, sometime in the early 1820s to 1840s. The gunsmith is identified as Adam Daniels, who was known to be active in Lancaster, Pennsylvania during that period. What truly set this rifle apart from similar models was the extensive use of engraved silver and brass overlays throughout the barrel and wrist. This elaborate decoration suggested the great-great-great-grandfather likely paid a considerable sum for each personalized firearm. But the most captivating detail was a unique inlay crafted from mother of pearl, resembling a fish or possibly a bird's eye, a quail, as the guest suggested. Never has a rifle with such features been encountered before, adding to the gun's historical significance and artistic value. Considering the exceptional amount of engraving and the presence of the unique mother-of-pearl inlay, the rifle's value is estimated to be,
auction, the gun would probably make somewhere between $12,000 to $15,000.
Wow, I never expected.
This Colt Model 1849 pocket revolver is a marvel of the 19th century engineering. It was exhibited by a guest whose great-great-grandfather received it as a gift from a friend.
And since then, the revolver has been passed down through my grandfathers on my father's side, down to my father, and now it's in my possession.
According to family lore, the revolver was once used by the bodyguard of Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln was an American lawyer, politician, who served as the 16th President of the United States. However, this claim was later proven to be false.
Lincoln didn't have, as you pointed out, any sort of official group of guys that were his bodyguards.
The gun, a Colt Model 1849 pocket revolver, comes with its original case and accessories, and a serial number on the chamber. For a firearm over a century old, it is in remarkably good condition. At auction, this masterpiece of 19th century gunsmithing is estimated to be worth,
at auction, I would estimate this pistol is worth about $2,000 to $3,000.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's good to know.
The guest brought in 2 intriguing finds purchased for a mere $5 each at an estate sale. They turned out to be original drawings for political cartoons used by the Chicago Tribune in 1947. The artists were identified as Cary Orr and Ed Holland, both well-respected cartoonists of that era. The drawings cleverly reflected the political climate of the time, referencing the Democratic and Republican parties, the state of Europe, and various political ideologies. Beyond their historical significance, the drawings offered a fascinating glimpse into the creative process. Erasure marks and changes in composition revealed the artist's thought process and how they refined their work. The overall condition of the drawings is particularly impressive, and they held a unique value as a pair. Considering these factors, they estimated the combined value of the cartoons to be,
I would lot them at about $300 to $500. Really? Well, thank you. I'm surprised.
We see a milk can with a key inside, but there's more to that than meets the eye. It is a mechanical cat in a milk can toy that appears and disappears. The guest inherited this item as an heirloom from his mother. The mechanical cat toy was made in the late 19th century by a popular company, Ives, a manufacturing company that designed varieties of beautiful toys from 1868 to 1932. The toys work mechanically. When you pull out the key, the cat comes out, powered by the wind-up mechanism.
Now it should start to go. It takes a minute for it to warm up.
This toy boasts a uniqueness because of its automation, similar to the French that manufactured the same mechanical toys, but were way better. What sets this piece apart is the cat, which is in unbelievably good condition since its manufacture date. In pristine condition, this mechanical cat toy, showcasing 19th century craftsmanship and playful design, could fetch a high auction value of,
I sold one years ago, and it brought over $8,000.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
The guest brought in a cherished item, a hand-painted wooden sign with English inscriptions from their time living in Lagos, Nigeria in 1975. The sign offered a variety of services, from caring for pregnant women to treating children's illnesses and eye trouble. It even included a section aimed at protecting against curses and bad luck. The presence of English on the sign is as a result of Nigeria's colonial history. Then they deciphered some of the inscriptions, including a cryptic line about any poison prepared against one, turn back on the doer, offering lighthearted protection from potential enemies. While the guests consider the sign priceless due to its sentimental value, the appraiser provided a more objective assessment. The sign is a significant piece of Nigerian folk art, and its estimated value is
The folk art market is $500 to $700.
The guest brought in a Tiffany flower form vase with an interesting history. It was allegedly gifted by a suitor who claimed to work for Tiffany to the guest's grandmother or aunt. The piece is identified as a genuine Tiffany vase, but unfortunately it wasn't in its complete form. The glass flower portion had been broken off from the stem and placed in a bronze base, likely an attempt to salvage the piece after damage. Despite the damage, the vase is of Tiffany origin and it remains beautiful. The estimated retail value is
The value of this would be around $700 retail. If it were the whole piece.
The guest received a surprise inheritance, a pocket watch found in a drawer of a desktop mirror left by their great-aunt. The watch had been stolen 20 years ago, and the guest was able to recover it by recognizing the attached fob during police identification of pawned items. The watch is a creation by Abraham Louis Brigot, a legendary watchmaker renowned for his innovations and intricate mechanisms. They pointed out the watch's secret signature, a distinct inscription hidden beneath the dial, another hallmark of Brigot's work employed to combat counterfeiting. The watch also featured distinctive palm or apple hands, another Brigot design that became widely recognized. While the guest initially believed the inscription on the watch indicated a date of 1765, this was actually the watch's production number, placing its origin between 1800 and 1805. The combination of Brigot's legacy, the watch's age, and its excellent condition made it a truly exceptional timepiece. The estimated value at auction is a staggering
$30,000 to $35,000.
However, a recent auction saw the price at $10,000 to $15,000. Guests' excitement about the large African figures quickly turned into a quest for knowledge after discovering unwelcome insect inhabitants. Their research led them to believe they had stumbled upon a valuable Dogon tribe deity figure, potentially worth a significant sum. However, while genuine Dogon figures, crafted for religious purposes, can be quite valuable, the sculptures presented several characteristics that pointed to a different origin story. Firstly, the size was a giveaway. Traditional Dogon figures are typically much smaller. The large scale of the guest pieces suggested that they were created specifically to appeal to Western art consumers, a common practice amongst African carvers. These carvings often featured exaggerated elements, catering to Western tastes and expectations of African art. Secondly, the age of the sculptures placed them firmly in the decorative art category, as opposed to the more valuable fine art market. Finally, the condition of these figures with cracks and breaks further diminished their value. Considering all these factors, a realistic valuation of each figure is
Things would each be worth in the decorative market $1,000 to $1,500 maximum.
Okay.
bedspreads are not your ordinary household items. They carry stories of generations past. The guest inherited a bedspread from their mother. It was made by their fourth great-grandmother, Mary Wilcox. The bedspread is historically important because Benjamin Franklin, a frequent visitor to the Wilcox family, supposedly designed the wreath on it. Mary Wilcox's father made and sold paper to Franklin. The appraiser noted how rare old textiles in good condition are. The bedspread, from February 18, 1761, is well preserved with detailed designs and a lovely border. The center medallion might have been designed by Benjamin Franklin, though it's unproven. Despite its age, the bedspread's colors are vivid, showing its quality. It's made of fine linen with excellent wool embroidery. The appraiser noted condition issues and stressed the need for proper care. While examining the condition of the embroidered bedspread, the appraiser said,
So I would think that it would probably sell for a retail price of $3,000 to $5,000.
Wow.
Guest inherited this cabinet on chest that had been in the family for a significant period, noting its unusual design with two distinct pieces stacked together. The appraiser identified it as a German piece from the mid-18th century, preceding the Biedermeier style by about 50 to 75 years. Made of walnut, the cabinet on chest featured a quirky South German design where smaller components were placed atop a larger base. The appraiser pointed out stylistic differences that suggested the two parts may not have originally been made as a single unit. The appraiser highlighted mismatches in the inlay patterns and the design of the feet as indicators that they might have been combined later. Despite its monetary value, the guest expressed sentimentality towards the piece and affirmed that they have no intention of selling it. The appraiser suggested selling the bottom part, the chest of drawers, and the top part separately due to their disconnection in origin and style. At auction, the appraiser noted that antique furniture values have fluctuated over time and estimated the pieces to be between.
With the bottom part as a chest of drawers, you'd probably be looking at in the region of $1,500 to $2,000 at auction. And with the top portion being around, say, $500 to $700 at auction.
Today's feature is a captivating watercolor creation. Our guest inherited this stunning piece from his great-grandmother. It is a breathtaking creation by the renowned artist Edmund Henry Osthaus, who was a well-known German artist, and he was popular for his exquisite animal paintings.
And then he retired in 1893, which coincided with a big upsurge of interest in his work. He was a very successful painter at that point.
3 charming English pointer dogs are brought to life in this delightful painting. The level of detail in this painting is exceptional, a testament to Edmund Auhoe's fabulous skill. With its allure unabated, this remarkable piece is expected to fetch an impressive auction value of...
I probably wouldn't want to insure it for much less than $50,000.
$50,000?
Yeah.
Wonderful.